Hey everyone, welcome to the APA formatting of qualitative data video. I'm James Hayashi, the writing advisor for master's program students. We'll start with some basics on citations. First, of course, the sources of all information and ideas that are not your own should be cited. These citations should include the author or organization's name and the year of publication. Since these two pieces of information are really important for APA, APA is also known as the author date system of citations. If you don't know the date or it's not available, you can use ND for no date. And if you don't know the author, of course, you can use anonymous to fill in that part. All this information, the author and date, can be woven into your own sentence or it can be given parenthetically at the end of the sentence, as we'll see in some examples. Okay, so most commonly, as you'll see here, the author's name or the source's name and the date are given. For published material, you will just give the year of publication, but for something like a personal communication, a survey, or anything that's not widely available to the public through a published journal or online, you'll give the whole date. So this is the date the survey was taken. Again, so you'll see one respondent in particular was concerned that the presenter's rapid speech made it difficult to take notes, and then source, date. Because again, this is not something widely available to the public or to a reader, we need to provide this information in an appendix. So you can see Appendix A, then your reader can find Respondent 9's answers and all the other survey respondents' answers to the questions. The second way is to include the source's name as part of your own sentence with the date in parentheses immediately following. So see here, according to Respondent 9, the date, the presenter's rapid speech made it difficult to take notes. So again, the source's name has been woven into the sentence with the date immediately following in parentheses. And finally, you can weave in the date into your own sentence and give the source either parenthetically or more commonly as part of the sentence. This one says, data from the June 4th, 2015 survey revealed that half the participants believe the presenter's rapid speech made it difficult to take notes. And then see Appendix B, where we provide either the direct quotes or percentages of people who believe that. So direct quotes are very similar, except if it's published material, you would include a page number for every direct quote. But you can see here, here's the direct quote, again with double quotation marks, and then most commonly, everything is given in parentheses at the end of the sentence. So the source of the quote, and then the date the quote was given. Or again, here you can give the source's name as part of your sentence with the date immediately following in parentheses, like this. A common concern, one reflected in survey respondent 9's June 4th, 2015 feedback, was that the presenter spoke a little too fast for most of the audience to take notes. Okay, and again, finally, you can include both the date and the source's name woven in as part of your own sentence, like this. One common comment from the June 4th, 2015 survey, as noted by Respondent 9 in particular, was that the presenter spoke a little too fast for most of the audience to take notes. So again, the three ways are with author and date in parentheses at the end of the sentence, with the author's name woven into the sentence with the date immediately following in parentheses, or both the author and date written as part of your sentence. So now we'll talk a little bit about transcription. The first thing to keep in mind is that you don't need and shouldn't include placeholders, like when an interviewee is saying something like or unless your point is to demonstrate that the interview is confused or unsure, then those ums and uhs can help the reader see that. You can see here in this example, so then the principal, he was like against the idea we proposed, but it's a little bit distracting. In fact, it's a lot distracting. So you can remove those without using ellipsis or ... to show that you made a removal. You can just take them right out, pretend that they were never said in the transcription, and that's perfectly accepted practice. In fact, it makes it a lot easier to see the main points of the quote if you take those placeholders out. Second point, don't avoid to punctuate a quote just because your interviewee did not pause. So I've seen transcriptions like this. The reason that many of our staff feel overwhelmed is that they are under enormous pressure to help as many patients as possible. At the same time, the resources that they receive from administration are severely limited, and this combination of a high workload and limited support, etc., you can see, kind of goes on. And in this section, there actually should be about 3, maybe 4 separate sentences, but there's no internal punctuation to help divide it into meaningful packets of information. And when I've asked students who write like this, why didn't you include it? They tell me, oh, well, the interviewee didn't pause, so I didn't want to reflect a pause in my punctuation. Keep in mind that the people you interview or talk to are not going to say period, say comma, or semicolon. They may not even pause in the appropriate places, but as the writer or transcriber, it's your job to put in that punctuation so that the reader can make sense of the quotes and find meaning in the data you're presenting. And finally, you don't need to cite after every sentence in a paragraph if all the citations are from the same source or same interview. So you'll see here, without reading, you can just see it's a little bit tedious to have a sentence and then citation, the same citation, the same citation, the same citation, etc. Even though the reader may not be reading this part, just to see it is a little bit visually distracting and takes away from the ideas that you're trying to present. So instead, what's a little more work for you, but certainly a lot easier for your reader, is to write the information in such a way that the reader can tell everything came from the same source. So like this, you can see we've given the source's name, and then the date here, and then the principal, that's the source, the school he continued in the next sentence. So you know this is continuing from that same personal communication, the same principal. For instance, which kind of hints in, it's an example at the principal's school, and then here, in addition, his school theater group, so again referencing, this is back to the principal, so it must be something the principal said, and then we cite again author, personal communication, and date. This kind of gives a bookending effect where the first sentence is cited with source and date, the last sentence is cited with source and date, and everything in the middle is written in a way that lets the reader know it's all from the same interview. Hope this was helpful. Again, keep in mind if you need to rewatch anything, of course, you can rewind, pause, and watch the video entirely again if you want. I encourage you to watch part 1 of this video series as well. And if you have questions, feel free to contact me at jhayashi@rasier.usc.edu. Happy writing!